Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 2. I am Beat O'Brien, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headline. 3. INEC reiterates commitment to tackle use of money during elections. Pope France stories and more in a moment. We'll begin the news on our bulletin this afternoon. A free, fair and credible election in 2023, as he has approved all that was requested by the electoral umpire. IP, the International Republican Institutes, the National Endowment for Democracy, and as for the 2023 elections, said he has made sure they were given all the required resources to conduct a successful election to the satisfaction of contestants. The elections can be further enhanced to make it acceptable, depending on the outcome to the contestants and the political parties on non-issues.
INEC is prepared to conduct the election next year. I would say they are. They were denied funds by the government, so they were given the money. Although some of them, but all the same, INEC has not complained, and certainly they could not complain that they were denied.
Meanwhile, President Buhari to be more objective in his reportage of the country. He told the international community that despite the nonchalant actions and delaying in dealing with the threats to Nigeria and the African sub-region, warning that the survival of democracy is being challenged in the aftermath of the. Away from that, the Minister for State for Health, Joseph Ekumanakama, most populous nation in the world with a projected population of about 400 million by 2050. He added that achieving the commitment of a modern contraceptive prevalence rate of 27% by 2030 was effective methods is 12%, while 19% of the women have unmet needs for family planning. The Service Agency, NEMASA, has said only 10,692 electricity projects power sector. NEMASA's Managing Director Aliyu Tari, who disclosed this, electricity which can result in injuries, fatality and equipment damages. According to him, the agency has 5 electrical installations at factories and hazardous buildings across the country. National Electoral Commission INEC has reiterated its commitment to address in Abuja at a stakeholders summit aimed at addressing the influence of money on the 2023 general election. In his welcome address, Yakubu reminded political matchups the various tiers of government, noting that the commissions would do everything possible to ensure that money would not be used to subvert the will of the people during the 2020 with transport owners and stakeholders today for the supply of vehicles. Still on news from the electoral sector, the independents are engaging in that futile effort. INEC National Commissioner Festus Oke told newsmen that of voters come 2023 will be a reject biometric data of persons who are not original owners of the traded PVCs. His responsibility to go after such individuals and prosecute them. Recall that 2 non-governmental organizations, NGOs, from poor voters to manipulate the next elections. And 56 senior non-commissioned officers, NCOs, after 35 years of active service with funfair at the Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center in Oshodi, Lagos. Recall that they had undergone a 3-month pre-retirement training which prepared them for their return to civil life. 25 have gratitude, thanking them for their selfless service to the country. Buhari admonished them to share Magashi, urged them to stay proactive in order to overcome the challenges that Away from that, the Lagos state government has urged residents to socialize responsibly during the festive period to prevent accidents and fatalities at events. The Director General of the Lagos State that event organizers should register events above 250 guests with the LSC attending large events or concerts. He further said that alcohol, where it be consumed, should be consumed in moderate quantity. Mojiola also advised residents to report all alarming incidences, stressing that the state government could use its discretion to restrict, modify, postpone or cancel any event after a... Back here on news on the home front, the chairman T.A.F Media Group, operators of Planet, Tangsio Yo for their annual traditional Thanksgiving service. Our correspondent completes the story.
Part of the end-of-year activities, the T.A.F Media train arrived at Deeper Life Christian Mission Zuyo outlet, thanks to your 102.7 FM and how fast the radio station has overall growth of the organization.
We came here to thank God for what has happened in our organization, last continuing to happen in our media organization.
Other departmental heads also expressed their gratitude to God for a successful year.
God for his faithfulness, for his blessings, for his marvelous deeds in our ministry. Sensible person to return to God to say thank you, Father.
As a company, we have stayed the Tangsio FM and has been well received. So when we look back at the year, we have to be thankful for all that we enjoyed the benevolence of God. I mean, as at this time last year, we had just Planet Radio and Spectrum TV, and now we have Tangsio. I mean, only God knows what will happen by the same time.
Deeper Life Christian Ministries, Aquarium State, Pastor Emmanuel Ameze thanks the group for their collaborative efforts in propagating the gospel and hoped for more.
We are believing that with your coming today, not just here, the whole Akwa Ibom, we know that there's a radio station. And by the grace of God, we know that all the look.
We now move to news on the continental scenes in Africa, where the South African historical ruling party, Johannesburg. The 70-year-old Ramaphosa, who remains popular with the public despite a recent scandal, won 2,476 votes. Competitor, former Health Minister Zilwe Mekazie, increasingly is unchallenged by unemployment and the... In the meantime, France has made affirmations to end statement posted on Twitter. Former Interior Minister Gerald Damaine, its former colonies of Algeria, Morocco and Tunisia, and 50% for Algeria and Morocco, in the hopes that the countries would repatriate their citizens. And now to news on the foreign scenes, where 2 people have been reportedly injured with homes damaged after Russian drones attacked. Kiev's Major Vitaly Klitschko said that technicians are working to stabilize cities in Ukraine, including the capital, were hit by Russian missile strikes which left many people without light, power or heat. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that services are currently being restored for millions of residents. Elsewhere, 5 people have died after a gunman opened fire at a block of flats in Toronto, Canada. Police responded to reports of shooting at the building in Vaughan, about 30 meters north of Toronto, where they met with a horrendous scene with numerous deceased victims found in different flats of the building. Mark Sween said there was no ongoing threat to the public, and New York police said that those evacuated could return to their homes, noting that the authorities are investigating the motive, including a possible connection between the gunman and the victims. And now to news from the Vatican City, where Pope Francis has revealed in a new interview that he has already signed his resignation letter to be used in the event he became impaired. Francis made the comment in an interview with newsmen when asked what would happen if a pope is suddenly rendered several years ago, and gave it to the then Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Tarcisio Benton, who resigned in 2013. Although Francis, aged 86, appears to be in good health, he has often been seen with a walking stick and sometimes uses a wheelchair due to pain in his right knee. Still to come on our bulletin this afternoon, FIFA readies 48-team World Cup for 2026. Do stay with us.
Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Thanks for staying tuned. You're still watching Spectrum News live on Spectrum Television. And now to more news on our business sins, where at least 172 companies may not benefit from about 2.4 trillion naira tax waivers under the Pioneer Status Incentive and other tax exemptions as the federal government moves to phase out some tax waivers effective 2023. The federal government is phasing out the tax exemptions for mature industries with the 2022 Finance Bill, which President Muhammadu Buhari has sent to the National Assembly. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said the bill was designed to support the implementation of the 2023 budget as the government steps up efforts to grow tax revenues. Reports say the latest move by the government will also affect companies operating in 71 industries or sectors that are eligible for Pioneer Status incentives. Meanwhile, Twitter's new boss, Elon Musk, may be considering stepping down as the chief executive officer of the microblogging company after less than 2 months on the job. Musk tweeted a poll via his verified handle asking Twips to vote on whether he should step down as Twitter's CEO, promising that he would abide by the poll's results. Reports say with about 6 hours to the end of the poll, yes was winning the margin of 5.6.3% to 43.7%. And now to news on the health sins, where the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration public alert released to newsmen saying the counterfeit BTNX COVID-19 kits in circulation was incorporated with COVID-19 rapid antigen test kits as communicated to NAFDAC by Health Canada. Health Canada said that the fake test kits were sold online in 25 packed boxes by a distributor called Healthful Plus, which does not have the required licenses to do so. According to NAFDAC, the BTNX Incorporated. The agency advised wholesalers, distributors, pharmacies, and consumers to ensure that their products are obtained from authentic and reliable sources, while advising the public to report adverse effects via pharmacovigilance at nafdac.gov.ng and e-reporting platforms, that is www.nafdac.gov.ng, or via the Med Safety application. Still in health, Nigeria reported 1,027 cases of the circulating vaccines-derived poliovirus type 2 in 2021. This is contained in the 2021 annual report released by the World Health Organization due to suboptimal population immunity. The report also showed that 7,770 acute flaccid paralysis cases as against 6,000 2020, 509 in 2019. The health body listed the major challenges as limited availability of NOP-V2 doses affecting responding to the CVPVD2 outbreak with the required scope and speed. It noted that over 80% of the identified CVD-PV2. And now to news from the sporting world, where the just concluded FIFA 2022 World Cup saw Lionel Messi and Argentina win an all-time classic World Cup final despite Kylian Mbappe's hat-trick, taking France into a penalty shootout, following a 3-3 draw in extra time. On Sunday, Gonzalo Montiel converted the winning spot kick to clinch a 4-2 shootout success for Argentina at the end of a thriller at the Lusail Stadium, with goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez having saved Kingsley Coleman's attempt and seen Aurelien Tchouameni fire wide. Still in sports, dust has barely settled on the just concluded World Cup final before the attention turned to the gargantuan figure of 2026 looming on the horizon. For the first time, football greatest tournaments will be held across 3 host nations, that is, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The tournament will be notably seen an expansion of 48 teams up from the current 32 teams format that has been in place since 1998. The double and the number of teams took part in the last World Cup held on Mexican soil, according to reports, would see the biggest beneficiaries of the expansion to 48 teams to be Africa and Asia. Under the new format, Africa will receive 9 qualifying slots for the finals. On our end, Trinidad and Tobago artist Cardona and Qatarian singer Aisha. The performance preceded a social media post to which Davido announced he would return through a picture of him and his partner Chioma. He also posted a picture of himself and his lawyer, Bobo. Davido's return after he withdrew from public life following the demise of his son. Still on the entertainment scenes, award-winning singer and songwriter Kiss Daniel has been presented with a plaque by the music streaming platform Boomplay after amassing 500,000 streams on the platform. The plaque was presented to Kiss Daniel by Boomplay's Director of Artist and Media Relations. April 2022, Boomplay announced that Kiss Daniel became the first artist to hit 100 million project-based streams in less than 6 months with his 4th studio project, Barnabas EP. This year, the blistering success of Barnabas, Buga and Koff has kept the embers of Kiss Daniel's impressive run going, dominating charts across the country from staying on Boomplay's top 100 charts to Buga accumulating 1 million streams within 24 hours of release on Boomplay and retaining the top spot in countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, receptions, and global acclaim. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to subscribe to our social media pages and our YouTube page, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 2. I am Beta Brian, thanking you for watching. Do have a nice day.